As the years go by, more and more MMOs start to pop up. Some go on to be successful, while others get buried into the ground by their competition. All of them share one thing in common, which is to get people to play them. And also milk them of their money, of course. KingsIsle, the developers of Wizard101 and Pirate101 are no different. Wizard101 has come a very far way from its humble beginnings as a cartoonish Harry Potter inspired game to practically still the same thing. It's one of those MMOs that are still standing today, which speaks volumes on how many people like this game and grew up with it. The same thing can be said with Pirate101, just to a much lesser degree of popularity. But what if I told you there was a third game in the 101 series? Yes, KingsIsle created a third game called Superhero101, or for short, Hero101. So let me take you back a little. As Pirate101's development cycle was drawing to a close, KingsIsle had its sights on a new venture, simply known as Hero101 at the time. We don't know exactly when Hero101 was in development, but estimations are from between May 2012 and December 2014, which happens to coincide with Pirate101's development cycle. The reason for this time frame is because after 2014, KingsIsle released a long line of failed mobile Candy Crush clones. I thought they only made 3, but apparently there are more, so I guess the list of shame goes on. Anyway, it could be assumed the scrapping of Hero101 was due to budget restrictions, since Pirate101 did not get any updates for the same time either. All of this is based on assumptions, but as stated, we can sort of get an idea of the game's lifespan from beginning to end. What we do know currently, quote, is a basic understanding of what the theme, art style, and internals of what the game would have been like, end quote. A former KingsIsle employee by the name of Paul uploaded a series of videos back in the mid to late 2017 showing the interface of the game. In these videos, it showed the Science Center. They also had their own website by the name of paulworks.com. By using the Wayback Machine, there were a couple or multiple Flash animations which we can assume related to Hero101. Rip Adobe Flash Player. Now as you can see, it looked like something out of the 2000s Disney Channel. Another source where this exact image happened to show up was in an article published by the Armenian General Benevolent Union on June 17, 2014. The what union? So yeah, as it turns out, this is an Armenian heritage website. Anyway, if we take a look at the photo provided in the article, you'll see a screen with the image. For a while now, people have speculated what this was since nobody knew about Hero101's existence, but now you know. Other areas in the game didn't have a name because, unfortunately, some of the information have either been privated or taken down. But we can guess what they could have been used for. For example, we have these skateboard pipes. That could have looked like players were able to do a full 1080 on them. I assume this would have been the World Hub, similar to Wizard101's The Commons. Here we have some sort of training facility, with mannequin torsos for some reason. Speculations are that this would have been where players met their class trainers. Another former KingsIsle employee by the name of Andrew uploaded a video to the ArtStation website back in 2019 titled KingsIsle Real 2015. Within the video, it shows animations from characters in Pirate101 and a shitty mobile game. However, one character stands out, and it isn't labeled by the name of the game. At about a minute and 5 seconds, we can see an hourglass humanoid figure trying to convey human emotions by hugging 3 lumps of snow, but fails. What we can assume is that this character belonged to Hero101 but was not titled due to information getting out. Another character we can see in screenshots is this Mr. T looking potato head. From this we can gather that the player customization was going to be much better than what it was like in Pirate101 or Wizard101. Lastly, we have Professor Tess. Not much is known about this character other than them being dangerously close to avoiding the chat filter. With a game that involves a plot like Wizard101 or Pirate101, there must be voices of some kind. Back in 2017, there was a voiceover artist who was credited to a voiceover in the game Hero101. Browsing through the voiceover artist's portfolio by using the web archive, they have some relation to Wizard101 as well, including a long list of other games. This person's name will remain anonymous for their protection and privacy. Now we don't know who they voiced, but it was probably a variety of characters on the game. This was archived in 2017 because much later Hero101 would be removed from the page for some unknown reasons. Unfortunately, although there are links to a web archive and we do have access through the Wayback Machine, the videos on combat can't be played, so we don't fully know how it would have worked from a visual animated standpoint. However, what we do have is a photo of a muscular man fighting a skinny boy. It looks very similar to Wizard 101 with the battle circles, except changes to the middle circle as well as the implementation of a user interface on the side. A few assets were borrowed from Wizard 101 in this photo, such as the background setting and the opposing enemy for the purposes of testing. As it stands though, this is the only combat related photo we have of Hero101. However, there are two interesting images of powers and abilities. One that grants speed, which I assume could have been like in the core Final Fantasy games where speed allows the character to get a faster turn than their teammates or the enemies, and the other is just floating rocks, possibly telekinesis. To end it off, we have some testimonials dating back to 2017 from a former KingsIsle employee, who will remain anonymous for their protection and privacy. I won't be going over the entire soap opera manuscript, but I will point out the most interesting points made. The former employee was asked about the concepts of Hero101, and here was what they had to say. He stated it was just called Heroes, and I did some icons and crappy concept art for it. There was a practically finished MMO that Eli decided to shelve, same with a MOBA. In response, LOL, what? Damn! You had like different powers, rock, fire, water, telekinesis. I remember they wanted to make it more mobile friendly. It played like Wiz. When I played the beta, the combat was very dumbed down. There weren't any additions like crafting, PvP, and housing. It was really bare bones, like a free-to-play hub. Fighting aliens in this giant metropolis. I just remembered these fish alien men in space helmets running around the city and you gotta fight them. KI invested a lot of money into that thing. Shoulda just released what they had. It was more of a prototype / early beta. They had a giant team on Hero. This game seems to resemble City of Heroes in a way. Both games had a superhero theme and are MMOs. Although the entire game is lost due to time, we still have a couple things to look back on. Now you might ask, Hunter, where are the game files, if the game was fully completed but scrapped? To that, I say I'm not sure, but it would be plenty stupid if they just deleted everything. For now, the only remnants of this game are photos, a couple YouTube videos of photos, games with photos in it, and photos of photos within photos. Maybe someday the entire game code or source code will be found. Who knows? What is interesting is that the domain name Superhero101 was registered 10 years ago by someone working at KingsIsle. So if this was true, it might have been longer in development than we originally thought. Anyway, special thanks to Ben and his team as well as former KingsIsle employees for all this information. Without them, I wouldn't have known about this or made a video for that matter. If you liked this video, subscribing is just a click away. Also, visit my other channel, Froggies2, for Let's Plays. Eventually. That will do it for this video, and until then, take care and see you guys.